It wasn't marble villas and leisurely banquets. It was cheap, hot bean stew served from earthenware pots embedded in a counter on a busy street corner, often before dawn, for the vast majority of Rome's population. The lavish feasts you envision were the exception, not the everyday reality. Forget the toga-clad senators. Today, you will uncover the extraordinary truth of how ancient Rome truly ate and lived, a bustling, chaotic daily existence entirely unlike the serene image painted in history books, all revealed by the astonishing archaeological finds of their ubiquitous fast food joints. Our collective imagination of ancient Rome is so often drawn from a very specific, elite perspective. You picture Pliny the Younger writing letters from his elegant villa, Seneca philosophizing in a serene garden, or perhaps toga-clad senators debating in the forum. The historical narratives we absorb, often shaped by the writings of the wealthy, paint a picture of leisure, intellectual pursuits, and grand banquets served by dozens of slaves. You imagine sprawling estates, private kitchens churning out elaborate meals, and a generally slow, dignified pace of life. This perception, reinforced by countless movies and popular culture depictions, suggests a society where personal time and leisurely pursuits were abundant for anyone of consequence. It's an image of luxury, of complex social rituals, of a civilization that, at its peak, seemed to have mastered the art of living well, at least according to its most prominent voices. But how could a city of over 1 million people, perhaps even 1.5 million at its height, possibly sustain such a lifestyle for all but its most privileged few? How did the average Roman, the working artisan, the dock worker, the street vendor, or the clerk manage their daily meals without the vast resources of the aristocracy? The conventional narrative simply glosses over this fundamental question, leaving a gaping hole in our understanding of what daily life was genuinely like for the vast majority of urban dwellers. The truth is, the very structure of Roman cities, particularly the multi-story apartment blocks known as insulae, presented an almost insurmountable challenge to the idea of widespread home cooking. Many of these dwellings, particularly the upper floors, lacked proper kitchen facilities, fire being a constant, terrifying risk in a city built largely of wood and packed tightly together. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a fundamental constraint on daily life for hundreds of thousands of people. So, where did these masses get their essential nourishment, hot and ready, to fuel their long, arduous days? What filled this culinary void, if not the private kitchens of grand homes? This leads us directly to the astonishing archaeological truth that utterly transforms our understanding of Roman life: the widespread, almost overwhelming prevalence of the Thermopolium. You thought modern fast food was a recent invention? Think again. The Roman Thermopolium was a vibrant, bustling hot food stand, literally translating to a place where something hot is sold. These weren't niche establishments, they were absolutely everywhere, the ancient equivalent of coffee shops, food trucks, and casual diners all rolled into one. When archaeologists meticulously excavate sites like Pompeii and Herculaneum, what they unearth isn't just a few grand villas, but an urban landscape absolutely saturated with these humble yet vital eateries. Take the recent excavation of the Thermopolium of Regio V in Pompeii, for example. It's an incredibly preserved marvel, revealing a brightly painted counter adorned with vivid frescoes depicting the very animals whose meat was served, like ducks and chickens. Within the counter, large earthenware jars, called dolia, were permanently set, designed to hold piping hot food and drink. This wasn't just a simple stall, it was a sophisticated operation. Carbonized food remains were found right there, preserved for nearly 2 millennia. Fragments of duck bone, bits of goat, even crushed fava beans and lentils. Imagine the rich, savory smell of a thick bean stew, seasoned with garum fish sauce, wafting out onto the cobbled streets. What did they serve? Hearty, simple, and crucially, hot meals. Think stews of pulses and vegetables, spiced sausages, grilled fish, perhaps some bread, and of course, cheap wine, watered down, served straight from the dolia. This was the fuel for the masses. Dr. Mary Beard, among other prominent historians, has consistently highlighted how these establishments represent the beating heart of Roman urban life, catering to a populace that had neither the time, the space, nor the means to cook elaborate meals at home. A typical Roman's day began incredibly early, often before the sun had even risen. The city was already stirring, a cacophony of vendors shouting, artisans heading to their workshops, and dock workers unloading ships. Many would stop at a thermopolium for a quick breakfast, a warm start to a long day of labor. Then it was off to the forum for business, or to the workshops, or to one of the myriad other demanding occupations that kept the vast Roman economy humming. Lunch, or prandium, would again be a quick, often communal affair, frequently taken at one of these establishments. It wasn't just about sustenance, it was about efficiency and social connection. For the legions of common citizens, and certainly for the enormous slave population, the Thermopolium was not merely convenient, it was absolutely indispensable. It shatters the image of a predominantly leisurely society, replacing it with a far more relatable, gritty reality of hard work, long hours, and the constant need for affordable sustenance in a crowded, bustling metropolis. This profound realization fundamentally reshapes how you perceive ancient Rome. It wasn't merely a city of grand monuments and philosophical discourse. It was a city of hungry mouths, aching backs, and early mornings. The very fabric of its urban planning, its logistical challenges, and its social structure become clearer through the lens of daily necessity. When you walk through the excavated streets of Pompeii today, your eye isn't drawn solely to the grand temples or wealthy villas. Now, you notice the sheer density of these thermopolia, sometimes one every few dozen paces in the busier districts. You see the graffiti scrawled on their walls, the vivid paintings, the worn counters, and you can almost hear the clamor of customers, the clanking of cups, the shouts of the vendors. This wasn't some minor footnote in Roman history, it was a core, essential element of their everyday culture, a testament to the fact that even in the most powerful empire the world had ever seen, the most pressing concern for most people was simply getting a hot meal. It reveals a Roman society that was far more dynamic and diverse than the sanitized versions often presented. This was a working city, powered by the sheer will and labor of hundreds of thousands of ordinary people whose lives revolved around the practicalities of survival and commerce, not just politics and philosophy. The average Roman was not strolling through an olive grove, but hurrying through crowded, often filthy streets, past donkey carts and street vendors, eager for a bowl of something warm and filling. The sophisticated administrative apparatus of Rome, its vast network of roads, its legal system, all of it supported a population that needed to be fed, housed, and kept productive. This isn't just about food. It's about understanding the demographic reality, the constant thrum of economic activity, and the sheer, relentless energy required to sustain such an immense urban center. It connects them, in a startling way, to our own urban experiences, where convenience food and quick meals are also integral to modern life. You now see Rome not as a static, idealized backdrop for the lives of the powerful, but as a living, breathing, incredibly messy and vibrant city. Its sounds, its smells, its daily rhythms, its constant hunger for sustenance, all of it becomes vividly present. The average Roman, a hard-working individual navigating a crowded metropolis, feels remarkably familiar now, less like a distant historical figure and more like a person whose daily struggles and small comforts you can truly empathize with. This is the real Rome, the city of common people, the everyday Roman, whose life was a ceaseless dance between work and community, fueled by the steam rising from a humble thermopolium. And the historical record, it turns out, is absolutely teeming with these extraordinary, game-changing revelations, waiting for us to rediscover them.